Oh my God.
It says we're live. So there were 4 people waiting. We're 3 minutes past.
Which gives you so much anxiety to be late.
I've got so much anxiety on not being on time. We have been, looks like we're 8 seconds into live. So whoever's here can see it now.
The level of anxiety in the last 5 to 7 minutes.
And the level of anxiety of the GrowCom logo is under the subscribe button.
It's a Grow by Design logo, but that's fine.
I can't even get the world right now. I'm going to move that across the screen.
The only thing I want to ask anyone that's listening right now is, does his microphone sound like it's picking up at the same level mine is? Because last time we realized his microphone wasn't even working. Say something fabulous.
Yeah.
I want to know if we've figured that out yet.
Is my microphone working? I'm going to.
Either way, I know we can hear you.
Talk about what we're going to be talking about today, because it looks like all the concurrent viewers are sick of our rhetoric already.
Are you guys sick of this? Super excited about this because it is January, end of January, going into February. Oh, hello. Are you really going to?
Keep going.
I can't keep going. Okay. We're talking about what you should be doing this year if you're, let's assume you're in somewhere like where we have a location in Illinois where like spring's about to just hit and go wild. Obviously at our location here in Florida, it's like year-round consistency, which is amazing. So this may be a more targeted talk to someone that's in a more seasonal location. But at the same time, what we're going to say here is like incredible for anyone that's starting a new year, has big goals, needs to get organized, needs to get structured, needs to kind of know what they're doing, just have that little bit of guidance. We've both have so much to offer here, which is cool. I've made a whole like thing of notes just in what you should be doing when it comes to marketing. Yep. I know you have everything covered in terms of what you should be doing from the whole CEO perspective, organization, efficiency, production, sales. And I'm so excited to hear what you're going to say. Yep. Do you want to start?
No, I want you to lead in because as mentioned, I was stressing over this whole thing working, and I want to still continue to get to put my thoughts together. Okay. Which is...
Take some deep breaths.
No big deal, but let's roll.
Cool. So marketing. The biggest thing I always say is market a season ahead. So a lot of people will ask, hey, it's January, or hey, now it's about to be February. Is it too early to start advertising for mowing? Is it too early to start doing door hangers? And my answer all the time is like, you're already behind. Yeah. So we consistently year round at our Illinois location market a season ahead. So
we're doing door hangers right now in the off season.
We've been doing them. We did them all through January. But like by the time you hit summer, you should be marketing heavily fall cleanups. By the time you hit fall, you should be talking about snow plowing and everything you do in the off season. Yeah. And it's no different. Like January 1st, that's when our spring marketing like goes off the chain. And we are always talking about spring in December. But like January is like we're putting everything else to bed. We're putting the holidays to bed. We're starting fresh. Here goes spring.
Yeah, because December, even though it's like Christmas, all these things are going on for people, we've got such a short run up to spring at that point where it's like all hands on deck to make it, to get there, and to start planning for that.
And here's my thing with marketing a season ahead is that by the time your clients, potential clients, whoever realizes that the work needs done, they are going to be ready to act. Yeah. You don't want that time to be the first time they're hearing your name or the first time that they're hearing that you do this service. You want it to be the 20th time that when they think about, oh, I'm now ready to schedule this, you are the only option that goes in their head, not, holy shit, this needs done so bad, I'm going to compromise all my research and I'm just going to hire the first person, which is probably my neighbor's kid or whatever. Like, no. Oh my gosh, this company's been emailing me for weeks or months and I see their social media posts all the time and they've given me 2 phone calls already. So I know now I'm ready to book and they're ready for me. That's what you want. Exactly. Top of mind. And that's the smart way to do it. And for a lot of people that are maybe that don't stay so busy, maybe it's like the more owner operated people, operator people, they're like less busy.
That can be overwhelming, just to try to make all that happen, continue happening.
It can be overwhelming, but I also know a lot of people in our industry are just in this like part of time, they're just like waiting for snow to fall. And for some people, like depending on where you are, like the snow may be really falling frequently and maybe you're working crazy hours, but like you still can't wake up one day when the snow melts, it be spring and you be already like completely behind on everything. Yeah. So door hangers, you already mentioned that. Yes, you should be doing those. Like in my recommendation for door hangers would be design and order in summer or fall when you're like the money's coming in, like the fall cleanup money, everything's going like really good. And then as soon as fall cleanups are done, or while you're doing fall cleanups, like start putting them out. Have 5 or 10,000, 20,000 sitting in your office ready to go out. Social media. A lot of people, you just got a message about like, I've never had any luck with Facebook. What do you do with Facebook? Facebook's not luck. Facebook and social media is consistency.
Yeah. Continuously pushing out content.
Not just ads. It's not just a picture of grass.
Yeah. Not
over
just,
and over.
Just,
I do this. No, this is who I am. And this is why we should work together whenever you're ready. Create a social media presence. If you truly don't know how to do that, hire someone. If you post on your own personal social media a decent amount and you know how to engage and you know how to leave comments and stuff, then you are able to do it on your business. And you should be all the time. And it should not be pictures of work. It should be pictures of you, your team, your journey, and interesting stuff that people actually care about.
And I think that's the biggest thing is so much in our industry, and sorry, I'm moving my mic all over, the earth here, but so much in our industry, it's the common thing of just show the stripes, just show the before and after. People want to do business with people. And this whole conversation of this is what you should be doing right now. Maybe your marketing has always been you showing just your work. Well, maybe you should start the change in your marketing that is you connecting with everybody that sees you in your company, the team members, the office, everything. And that's going to pay dividends when you go out there and do an estimate after they've already seen your face several times. When your team's out there, when they call the office, they're going to know who they're calling. They're going to know when you show up who you are. And that it plays so big for your business. Like just YouTube and other things where people have ended up seeing me as the person that's going to go out and do their estimate. Like I've shown up on properties, and I can't tell you the amount of times people have been following our journey, following what we're doing, saw all my YouTube videos, saw everything on Facebook, loves our company, knows about me, knows about my kids, knows about Zoe and Melanie and Jess in the office, or people in the office down here. And we're new down here, and that same thing's already happened here.
Well, we've heard for years, like our marketing stands out, not just locally, but industry wide. And that's for a reason, because we know what we're doing, because we know how to create a brand and we know how to tell a story. Our marketing has very little to do with the grass that we mow and pictures of our work, really. Yep. It's about who we are as a team, what we're growing, what we're building, the shitty stuff that's happened, all of it. We have a very authentic, transparent, interesting, funny, well-rounded social media presence. And what's cool, so like you're touching on something cool, is like the content and the YouTube.
Yep.
A lot of people are uncomfortable in front of a camera. Totally get it. The off season right now, great time to get comfortable in front of a camera. We've recently started, so like for a while on your YouTube channel, you were doing like some client education videos and like business focused videos, and it was all kind of in one. We've recently separated it and made our own company YouTube channel. And here's some ideas for things if you just don't know. A lot of people are just stumped in content creation. Like, if I had this, what would I even do? If I were to start, how would I do it? We asked all of our team members in Illinois, which we got like 6 or 7 people to do like their story of our company. And we turned those into videos, just like, and they were short, sweet. They were all different. Yep. You do behind the scenes looks at projects. You'll do project walkthroughs, common questions. So frequently asked questions like, why are there so many lawn care businesses in Florida? That's a great one to cover. Like, why is this industry the way it is?
Saturated, yeah.
Exactly. And you really get to put your story out there, or billing procedures, how to unsubscribe from emails. There's all kinds of things that if you realize that you're getting asked a lot by clients, you should turn this into education. Mm-hmm. And the first few times will suck and feel weird and feel bad and feel like you feel so stupid. And then it's going to feel so natural, and it's going to start
It gets easier and easier and easier. I mean, like if you're an introvert, whatever, it just takes practice. You have to get out there and you have to start saying things and get comfortable with hearing your own voice and get comfortable with being in. I mean, it's being in front of an audience, even though you're doing it all alone, and that can be extremely intimidating. But you have to, if you are committed to growing your company, you have to get over it. Like that's all there is to it. So, and like you said, in the off season, just shoot some stuff and just start. Things don't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. The reason the beginning of this was goofy and there was issues and we were 3 minutes late is because I don't give a shit about waiting for things to be perfect. In the beginning of this, you saw me move the Grow by Design icon to the other side of the page.
Yeah.
And like I saw it swoop over in delayed time on the screen. Like things don't have to be perfect. You just have to get started, and you can keep making it better and better and better. But the momentum of actually going in a direction is everything.
And that kind of leads into like when you, and this is something we actually just talked about in GrowCom on Friday's call, and then in the group over and over. When you start getting loud, which is like our whole thing, when you start putting yourself out there, when you start posting on social media regularly, because we don't attribute our social media success to the few ads that we've posted. We attribute it to the day after day after day of organic, interesting posts. So that's something to keep in mind. There is no magic bullet to anything that you do. Yes, you should pay to play, and yes, you can get more leads that way, but like there is no substitute for for building a social media brand. But anyway, when you're opening yourself up for that, there will be people that leave stupid comments. There'll be past employees that leave stupid comments. There'll be bad reviews. There'll be a ton of negative because you're attracting the attention.
And the key with that is like there will be so much of that. And this is the warning. This is probably where you're going. I'm sorry, but you cannot let that deter you. You cannot let that kill your motivation, because there's another thing where you'll be like, oh no, I knew this wasn't perfect. Somebody saw it, and I better stop and make this better. No, you should keep running forward. No matter how much you expand, there's always going to be more and more people not liking that, because instead of you doing something compared to them not doing anything, like that aggravates people.
You'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you.
Yeah. 100%.
And also, do you guys know how many times we've been laughed at? Many times. We keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
It's actually, if you want to talk about it from a marketing perspective, getting laughed at, whether like literally or with like the haha emoji that's so passive aggressive, or with those stupid comments, the algorithm likes the haha reaction better than it likes just a simple like, just like it likes the love reaction more.
So keep laughing, baby.
Keep laughing at us, because you actually help us reach more people. Every time you leave a shitty comment making fun of us or criticizing us, you help us reach more people. You are literally driving down our cost of marketing. And for that, we thank you.
Yes.
And that's how you got to look at it. So let's move on to email marketing. That is something that is free to do. Mm-hmm. I throw so many of our templates into GrowCom that when registration,
our GrowCom is almost like it's been inundated lately, because we're in a creation mode. Like 2022 is going to be huge for everything we're involved in, and like the stream of stuff on the group is like file. This kind of template, template for raising prices, template for doing this, template for card on file, like all these different things that like. It almost, we need to, there was a better way to filter that out.
I know.
The comments.
I know. But email marketing, reach out to your list. That is, you don't stop doing that over the off season, like when it's not season, because then in summer when you're so busy, then you'll justify not doing it because you're so busy. Don't let excuses get in the way of growth and in the way of the steps that you take to hit your big goals. And email marketing is something that like, use it. Even if it's simple, and it can be creative, and there's so many little things you can do. And honestly, yes, I put all of our templates in GrowCom. You can Google email marketing
for sure. And let me jump in, because Nicole's been running on the marketing, and I do want to say, like, if we do have time for the people watching, you can put some questions and stuff at the end. We'll try to hit on those if we're still able to carry on. But you're talking about email marketing, and I had to kind of jump in and talk a little CRM conversation here on my part. Things that you should be doing and getting prepared for this season is definitely have something where you have all of your leads in one place. And to me, it's really important that ties in heavily with email marketing. And that's been the downfall of almost the majority of the other CRMs I've looked at, is they didn't have a good setup where I can mass email and strategically email market, as well as all the other things we've needed. And that's what we've loved about Service Autopilot, is how powerful of a tool it is. And if you don't have a CRM where that's something you can do right now, you can also use MailChimp.
I was just about to say, you can utilize MailChimp, because there's something to be said that we've had this conversation before, that of course your CRM should be as powerful as possible, and it should be like very scalable for what you want to create. But sometimes you will lean on other softwares and other programs. That's just part of business. So don't think that, oh my gosh, my CRM doesn't do this, so I don't do this.
Yeah.
Because there are workarounds. MailChimp is so user friendly.
Yeah. And just so the people know here what you're a member of it, like if for the most part, if you're starting out, it's free, right?
Yeah, I think there's just like maybe a limit on audiences, but it's really high. I mean, you could
if
even
you're new to it, like you'd have to be doing a large volume for it to not be free.
Yeah.
So,
and you could segment so easily your leads and your clients. You can create tags just like we do within Service Autopilot. If you had a CRM that didn't do that.
And I want to break that down for if that means nothing to someone. So like segmentation and breaking down your like client database. So if you've got 1,000 people, you might be serving 100 of them with mowing, and then some of them with this and some of them with that. Breaking that down to there's no reason to remarket to those 100. You already have mowing. Why would you send them mowing marketing emails? Mm-hmm. So making sure all of that stuff's tagged or organized or broken down into different segments so you can market the correct things to the correct people.
And that goes so deep in such an interesting way because you can do this in Service Autopilot, but you could do this in any way. And this is how you should think about your email marketing is you could tag or filter by lost leads, people that have once not gone with you. You can reach back out to them. We do that every summer. Twice we'll reach back out to lost leads, make sure they're being taken care of. Like we know you didn't go with us. We know that we weren't the right fit. And for a lot of these people, they permanently may not be the right fit for your company, but it's a reach back out and effort. We hope you're being served well.
And that's another thing that what you should be doing right now is making sure that it's top of focus that like we are here to serve. We're a service company and not get stuck in the BS of the rat race and everything else. That's why and it's also your duty to check in with lost leads and everybody else to make sure they are being served because that's what they came to you for. And ideally I would love to do business with everybody. Like you said, not everybody's the right fit. So we need to, it's very important to me to make sure that even if you weren't the right fit for us, that you're still getting served by someone and you're satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have 2 more things I want to touch on, and then my second one leads right into gonna hand it all over to you. It leads really well. Courtesy calls, same premise. This is a great time to sit down and call everyone on your list. Again, lost leads you haven't worked with in a while, leads you collected 3 seasons ago and you haven't talked to since. Current clients, upcoming clients, making those phone calls is worth it. Next, this is something that a lot of people are not thinking about right now, which is hiring. Yep. So you are going to be dying for people come summer. If we're doing the same market a season ahead, think ahead, then you need to be reaching out to these people now. Be advertising for what you need to hit your goals. So I wrote down these rough numbers. If your 2022 revenue goal is 500,000 and right now you've got 1 truck, but you're going to need 3 trucks by the end of the season, which means you're going to need 6 or 8 guys. You need to be planning for that now. You don't wait until you're drowning and dying and can't take on any work. And you can do this through promotional films, ads, organic posting. Again, this is where the organic, building your brand really serves you well. It's a great time to be networking and going to events. You can probably sign up for a job fair or whatever's going on, depending on where you're at in the country right now, depending on what's going on. But that leads me into internal practices and getting organized. This is a great time to create your career paths. Someone posted in a lawn care landscaping group this morning asking to see someone's advancement guide, and we had that right on hand. So I plugged that in. But this is when you need to be getting structured. And I think that that's your specialty. So I will let you go with what you think people should be doing right now.
Yeah. Some structure things that are top of mind to me and what I'm doing in my company and what I always do right at the beginning of the year is first and foremost, make sure pricing is still making sense. We've had a bunch of things where we've talked about raising prices, and how that's something that we've been focused on, and materials are all over the board. But whether the world was not in the state it's in, if it was just normal, business is normal, I would still evaluate what my business was like in the current growth stage and see where I thought pricing should be according to some type of budget. Okay. Putting all your expenses together and figuring out what it's going to take to recoup that. So pricing is kind of the first piece of every year for me. And usually I try to do it in the very tail end of the last week of December. Mm-hmm. So it's my Christmas special. But I do that because then I build in and I'm looking at our estimating and our numbers and see what can we be changing, what can we be doing to make our estimates easier for next year? Is everything going to still make sense? Do we need to be raising prices overall for a lot of clients? And so that leads right into knowing that the numbers are right so we can efficiently estimate for the following season. There's so much that goes into the organization. If you're a landscaping company, knowing that materials, like trying to have some grasp on materials. We talked about this multiple times too, but I think it's still valuable, is having some kind of documentation, something we put in GrowCom, having some kind of documentation sent out to all of the clients you do or you service, and let them know that, hey, even if we have a job on the books at this point, like we can't hold prices for material any longer. Prices are fluctuating so rapidly that, like when Site One tells me I've got the price is good for 7 days, like I can't hold a quote for you. This
is actually what I'm looking at it right now. We added it permanently to our terms of service, and this is something we've talked about. Maybe it was in our podcast. I can't even remember. In a section of the landscaping section of our terms of service, I wrote, changes in the economy have necessitated changes within our company. Pending services and projects reliant on material purchases, such as landscaping and outdoor living installations, may increase up to 15%. Additionally, we are unable to guarantee the price and availability of materials, including but not limited to lighting, pavers, and plants. Any and all changes to pending services and projects will be over-communicated as soon as we're made aware. Because the unknown is just like crazy right now, and you have to get ahead of that. And that's something to be doing in the off season right now. Yeah. Getting the documentation put in place so you're ready to fly out and grow your company and not have to. I think that's always the biggest thing for me is I don't have to focus on all this stuff when I'm running like mad. Now, given that we're in Florida now and we're kind of always running like mad, we're kind of always doing more than we've done before, it's even more important that I hash through these things quickly. But when there is an off season, take advantage of it. Don't look at it like your time to, if you're wanting to grow, if you want to relax and take time off and that's how you've structured your business, it's fine. But if you're wanting to grow, look at it like the time to create the catalyst that moves your business forward, the time to focus on the things you don't always have time to focus on. So all that documentation for pricing, getting pricing correct and making sure that everything's on point for how you're going to charge the following year. Now, I'm not going to hit on this heavily, but I was mentioning estimating and making sure everything is spot on and correct. Well, the other part that we're working on the course for GrowCom with the landscape business course. This whole thing is about being able to do foundation plans, landscape, softscape plan, like estimates really, really, really quick. It's what I did an $8,400 estimate today, and I got a verbal okay on it. I probably should have collected a deposit, but I had another estimate that I was already late to, but it's that whole premise of how I do those projects, and it expedites that for people. So you should be looking at your estimates and what can I do? Because everybody, I know what you want. We want numbers now. We want information now. We're pissed at websites that don't have pricing now so we can see it. It's aggravating in this day and age that you can't see stuff. So be looking what you can do to your estimates to get people numbers quicker, like no matter how big or how small the project is, to get people in line with budgets quicker, to maybe change your estimating and sales process around. We've started doing more phone consults, and it expedites this process for everyone. It makes it faster for them to get answers. And then it makes it when I go out there in person, I'm even more prepared. So be looking at how your processes work. I think my biggest thing about this industry is that it feels like this industry, like a lot of things this is how we're going to do it, like a long, long time ago. And then just not a whole lot of innovation takes place in this industry. And I don't know why that is. I think we should be right now we should be looking at what we can do to break the norm of this industry. And that alone will make you a standout in so many aspects of your company. Like we're looking at ways to be better and more efficient to, number one deal here, serve your clients. And that's going to make you stand out and be even more recognized and get you even more in the business and more opportunity and more growth. I totally agree. And I think maybe what stumps a lot of people is just knowing what to do. Like if I were someone who just wrapped up my first season and this is literally my first winter, or I'm going into spring for the very first time, like truly with kind of a client list, with a little bit started, like it can be so overwhelming to feel like maybe it's too early. Is it too early? Do I wait? Or when do I get stuff started or whatever? And then all of a sudden, so often I feel like you just get like trampled by the season. And then so many people make the excuse, I don't mean that in a negative way, but then it's like you don't have the resources and it's too late.
Yeah.
So I love this conversation because it's so true.
So right now, if you're a person that's freaking out because it's the off season, maybe you don't have enough money, you're trying to figure out how to get through it, and it's just stressful. Know that it's only going to last so long. You're going to get through it somehow or another. It's like matter of fact. It's just as long as you don't stop, you're not going to fail. You're not going to have a problem. It's going to be stressful. Maybe unfortunately you got to use a credit card. You got to use something to bridge the gap. Well, cool. Now that we get to plan next year how to not have this nightmare. But the thing is don't let this time slip away, because you said you got the resources to do some things. And that's always what I feel like in this time of year. I'm like, oh my gosh, we've only got like a month until we don't have time to do anything. And that's very stressful for me, because I need to look at what do we do in those 30 days of a month, which is only 4 5-day work weeks, which is only 20 days, like what do we do in those 20 days to maximize those 20 days? And I'll tell you what doesn't maximize those 20 days is freaking out about like how you're scared of it's the winter, because the winter is a season that goes away pretty quick.
What something that also doesn't help is just being stuck in your ways. And like you hit such the nail on the head with the way you described, like how we're always looking to be better and we're always looking to change and we're always exploring new things. Nothing that we do today is the same as what we did when we started. We are in a constant state of evolution in the most beautiful way with our company, where nothing is fixed, nothing is permanent in the best way. Anyone could come to us with suggestions about efficiency or just changing the game. And it's like, yes, let's start doing that. Like you just started doing phone consults. It's so cool to see how things can evolve. And something that's actually going to be really cool with the phone consults, that's for big projects that are further away. And you are going to record the next one that you do, and we're going to turn that into a video. And I think that's going to be awesome for people to see what a phone consult looks like. But things like that, don't say no to change. So often it's sort of like
embrace change.
Exactly. It's such a self-limiting mentality to think, well, I use this CRM and it doesn't do half of what those people are talking about that have a company like what I want to grow, but whatever. Or another one's too expensive. Like you're telling yourself stories and you're self-limiting, and before you know it, that turns into 5 seasons where you haven't hit your goals and you're not where you want to be. Opening your mind, creating change, implementing things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, getting loud about your brand. Because if people don't know you exist, people will not hire you. If you think word of mouth is the sole thing you should be doing and you're trying to build a company where people actually want to work, it won't work. No one will know you exist. The fact that you drove your truck down a main road
means nothing
today means nothing. You have to be where the people are. And unfortunately, but fortunately, most people are like, this is their phone for most of the time.
Which is sad, but it's true, and we need to utilize that.
It is your job to be there when they're looking at their phone. Your Facebook page analytics will tell you when people who follow you and people who like who you want to follow you, when they're on their phones. Common sense can tell you when people are on their phones. After work, on Saturday mornings, Sunday nights. Post and show up and be there consistently when people are looking. The difference you will see is incredible, but you've got to be smart about it and interesting.
And the key to that working is you showing up time and time and time again, not you doing it I did it for a month and I didn't get any leads. That's
Facebook just doesn't work for me.
It's all of these things. Since we're talking about the off season, and there's quite a few people on, like, I would like to hear on everybody that's watching right now, what state are you in? So if you can leave that if you can say that in the chat, just to kind of put some perspective. I would like to see maybe some of these people are in Florida. There is not really an off season. Maybe some of these people are in, who knows, Canada, where it's like full blown snow 24/7. I think that really plays a lot to this whole weird off season thing, because really some people are plowing so much snow that there's no off season.
Yeah.
And right now they're just barely getting by because they're strung out on how many hours.
And it's so hard. Like I would think that in a place like that, doing that winter would be so much more challenging than the summer, because at least you're limited by the sun in mowing. But like with plowing, so difficult. Props to people that are plowing, because the unknown and the crazy schedules and the sacrifices you make to do it and make sure people are taken care of is incredible. Sean is in Ohio. I mean, I feel like Ohio is like similar to Illinois.
Yeah, super common.
We're just
super common.
And so that's it. Like, be so spring focused. Like, we don't talk about winter come January 1st on our social media. You know what I mean? Like, we are like straight spring. Pretty soon, I mean, it's about to be February. We're going to be like summer. Like, it
just happens so fast.
It really does. Louisiana. I wonder what Louisiana's like.
Warmer, but you still have some cool. You know,
I feel like I need a U.S. map.
I just know a lot about the industry, like the areas of how stuff happens. So yeah, you have to get really far south for it to not be.
But it is interesting that each place is going to have its unique challenges and your unique things, plus your unique offerings. Like, we don't plow snow in Illinois, but we do oh my God, interior. I don't know what I was trying to say. Interior services, and so it's just kind of unique and interesting to see. But what else in terms of, what I would love for you to talk about is the organizational chart, because I think that's huge for people.
I want to hit on that. Let's leave that for last. Organizational chart's huge. So if you're watching this right now, stay on for that, because I've got 2 more points that I think are freaking huge that I want to expand on. One of them is going to be a CRM a little bit more, but I'm going to hop onto that after my next topic. So my next topic is looking at your company. Something that's huge that you have to be doing right now is, what should we be doing? By that, I mean, what should we start doing? And 2, these 2 questions, and you ask this of yourself and you ask this of your team, you do this together. And then what should we stop doing? Like, what do we suck at? What's a nightmare? Because what Nicole talked about, that's what kills a lot of businesses, is they just get sick and tired of doing the same fucking thing every year. The business we bought, like it was very stagnant. It hadn't changed much in years. And that not changing burns you out, because there's no growth. There's never anything new. There's no new problems. Even though when you get new problems and you grow, they're bigger problems. They're probably more challenging and more scary. It keeps you going much more than, well, this is the same fucking thing year in, year out. And a lot of times some of this can be caused just because you're doing the wrong things. One, you're not taking on the new things you should be doing. Like, we're moving into doing, however you want to call it, pool cage lights or lanai lighting, like a new service in our Florida location.
Well, in Illinois, we're taking on so many new things like water features and water. Like, we're evolving our listings there.
But on the flip side of that, we're looking at the things we should never do again. What did we suck at? Like, we've really limited down the interior services we'll offer, because we found the ones that, like, it was a pain point for us. It just didn't make enough sense to do it. And doing this, always questioning, what should we be adding? What should we be taking away? And doing this quickly and efficiently will help you grow the business, because just because you like paver patios doesn't mean you should do it forever. If your team isn't good at it, if it's not efficient, if it's not something that you can't figure out a way to make it replicatable. Like, a lot of our business is moving further and further and further towards easy to replicate, easy to duplicate, easy to just copy and paste everything we're doing, because that's how mowing is. I just don't love that the profitability of mowing isn't like some of these projects for us. So let's take a little bit about what we love about one thing and let's try to replicate that over, So that's number 1. Now, number 2, back into the CRM. I think you really need to be evaluating a CRM right now. I don't want to knock anybody's, so I'm not even going to say a name, but I've been doing a lot of digging because I thought we would potentially be changing to a new software, or I wanted to see if there was something else out there that I thought could get us off of, I've said it a million times, so it doesn't matter, off of Service Autopilot. But, I didn't know, and I wanted to see what that would be. There were some hangups I've got with our software, and I want to try to figure out a one size fits all.
You're exploring,
yeah. I'm exploring. And for a little bit, I thought that maybe meant use 2. And I think right now is such a perfect time for you to figure out do you want to grow your company? And if the answer is yes, what CRM best fits that? What scales? What's best for running all these maintenance crews and running all these crews and tracking all of this? And yet being able to email market and being able to dispatch and watch from a logistical side. There's so much that a software can do that I hear so many people trying to save money. I was on a coaching call the other day, and the person was wanted to save money to get a software that I'd used before. And I didn't say no, because it'd been since we started the business using this software, and maybe it's okay now, but it's like there's so much upside to using something that can do a lot more, can scale with you and starting earlier, even if the difference between the two is like $38 a month and $97 a month. But like it's worth 3 times as much.
I was going to say, and a lot of times with these software, you go from something that's on the affordable side. It's it's so parallel with hiring a cheap provider versus a high quality provider. There's people for both. But hold on, I really want to finish my thought. I'm sorry, don't forget. But you go from, you have to do so much manual work with the affordable CRM, let's say, versus then you go with something that, holy shit, this monthly price tag feels like it's so much. But what you've done is replace an entire administrative position. Yep. The money saved and the investment and the time is like unreal. And when you calculate that, it's like, oh my God, why wouldn't I be spending that much money? What I can do and how far I can go and how I don't need to, just like equipment, how when you buy big equipment, you don't then have to hire one or more two guys. I said that weird, but okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You need to that's something you should be doing right now. And this aspect, this thought process goes across your whole business, what you just said. We can be shooting ourselves in the foot to try to pick X software over this software because it is cheaper, and it's more affordable right now. Well, I'm looking at like what's going to grow my company and what's more cost effective. How we've utilized Service Autopilot, it's kept us from having any AR. Like we have no accounts past due because everything's credit card on file. We have all of our emails automated. Like we have automation continuously getting built in all of these things that just limit all of this admin work. And in admin, you're going to pay someone in admin, you're going to pay them at least 30. Person's probably going to make at least 30 grand a year if they're working full time, at least. So that's $2,500 a month. That is so much more than you would pay for, even right now, what we pay for Service Autopilot isn't that. And it runs our whole company.
That runs 2 locations with help from a call center. We're all able to work with this. It's crazy.
And sometimes the decision to save money out of fear of income, because I have that, like to save money out of the fear of, will I be able to handle paying for it, is actually the thing that is keeping you from growing. You don't get the excavator because it doesn't make sense. I've got the manpower. Well, the excavator replaces 3 men and its payment is much less than 1 person a year. Same for the accounting software or the CRM. It can potentially do the work of several people and make your business run so much more efficiently. And it's a fraction of the cost of this. So we say we're saving, but then we go spend it somewhere else. And investing in that person and spending money on admin or something that doesn't necessarily make your business any more, like it doesn't add the potential to scale, like designing a software where people are easy, or designing the way you use a software to make your business move faster. Like
and also there's
anything else faster.
When you get a CRM like that, you're maximizing the value to the client. So now we have a CRM that has an online client portal, and then that adds to our value that we're able to offer.
Yeah,
small things like that.
And just the things like that these softwares need to be working on. Like it's got an online portal. It's got an app. Like people in the app can see their upcoming services, their past services, just things that go right back to what I originally said, making service number 1. How do we add the value for the client? Because, and this is what I almost forgot about that I was going to say, is you go to a client and you get pissed off when they say, we got a cheaper offer, because your service is better and you want to stand behind your service being better. Yet you'll go to the service like a software and other things, and you'll do the same thing. You went with a cheaper one when the value is potentially higher somewhere, and it's just weird how our brains are wired. Yet we get frustrated with the client doing it, but we'll go do it to ourselves and then limit the value that we could have received. You know, it's crazy.
Well, and you had a question about someone commented on a YouTube video the other day that was like, how did you learn Service Autopilot so much? Because something that stumps so many people is like how convoluted the system seems. Like, oh my God, how could I possibly learn all of this? First of all, right now is a great time to be learning it. Second of all, be obsessed, get in, dive in. This is like, you will live or die by the business you're creating.
Yep.
And isn't it worth it to learn how to work a fucking software? Like invest time, invest energy, read, watch. The resources are out there.
Yep.
And if that is the thing that's limiting like crazy success, then that sucks if you would let it stand in the way.
Well, and that's the thing with learning anything, and then we'll get right into this organizational chart thing, but with the CRM and all that, like I'm sure a million of these would work fine. You know, I'm just trying to pick the one that does the most for the biggest range of problems that I have, that fixes most pain points. But, you know, any CRM, the best CRM is the one you actually use.
Absolutely.
But the understanding it, any of this stuff in business, you have to, if you want to be really good, you're going to have to be obsessive, and you're going to have to like, oh, hey, I'm going to geek the fuck out. I'm using OBS right now to run this, and I'm watching comments come in, and I'm looking at how many viewers are on here. And, you know, a week ago, I had no fucking idea what this was.
Yep.
And I had no idea how to set it up. And now I've set it up. I'm not a professional. I'm trying to make it better each time.
Refer to our technical difficulties at the beginning.
Refer to our technical difficulties at the beginning. But I got obsessed. I watched a bunch of videos, and I figured out how to do it so we could have this set up, you know? And that's the same thing. If you really want your business, you want the softwares you use to get better and learn how to use them, dig in. There's fucking YouTube is a tool. Like Service Autopilot has 1 million videos on it. I'm sure Yardbooks has 1 million videos on it. I'm sure LMN does, because that was the rabbit hole I went down this year. Like I learned and set up everything in it. Like, you know, Jobber, all these softwares have everything in it. I would just be looking at the big checklist of what you're trying to build when it comes to CRM, and make sure it's covering as many pain points as possible, because I've eliminated a lot just because I knew they wouldn't cover the pain points. Now,
hold on. I know the organizational chart is going to be the grand finale of this live, but I would be remiss not to mention this, because I feel like everything you just said without saying it was hitting on this, and a lot of it was having an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset, having an open mind, being willing to learn versus being closed off, doing things the same way. And when we've talked about this before, a lot of times when I say abundance mindset or meditation or like those words that people are unfamiliar with, it becomes like laughable, like, okay. When you really understand the concept of an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset and how it can truly hold you back or propel you, it's just incredible. And to see the real tangible shift in your life when you adopt those principles and start attracting what you want versus letting your own stories get in the way. I mean, it's just huge. And it's our duty to tell you like that we've personally experienced it and that we want that for you. And do you have any books off the top of your head if someone were to venture? Like I think the 4 Agreements is something we talk about all the time. Absolutely read that. But anything specifically on, like abundance, what have you read lately?
Abundance and the mindset, like I think that's more of like maybe some meditation, some self-work, and like even like Tony Robbins content. I don't know if I have as many books on that. I just think of content, and I think of like a lot of the stuff I've done in my life. Like most of the conferences I've went to have really just pushed me towards realizing that abundance is a real thing, and being around the people I've realized or been around, like have taught me that like the universe and abundance, like that whole talk, whether you're not even 5 years ago, I'd been like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like I sound like some weirdo, probably rubbing crystals on my head and shit, you know, like, and now I'm like, no, that's totally real. And that's why I don't like back down on prices or change what I'm going to do, even if I don't have any work, because I know like the next thing is right around the corner. Like, and you put it out there. This morning I wrote down close 2 estimates or close 2 jobs. And I went out and the fucking first 2 they said yes to. And these weird things start happening to you. And whether you want to call it abundance or luck, and you want to say I work harder so I get luckier, like it's all the same thing. Or
the universe or karma or all of those things, or like you can put put the word, whatever word you need to put with it. It is all true. Energy, like the energy that you're putting out is what you'll attract. So are you spending your time leaving smart ass, lowbrow like comments in a lawn care Facebook group and then wondering why nobody's paying you on time and you can't get anybody to work for you? Or are you putting good and giving value and being a person of service and being like authentic and just true and good to your core? Because when you're doing that, the right people, clients and team members will just be magnetized to you. And that is a fact.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like the level of like what you put out and like the vibrations or whatever, like people feel that. Like I know I demand like a lot of attention when I come into like I work on my presence all the time because I want people to be able to feel when I'm in the room that I'm serious and I'm certain about what I'm talking about and that I want respect, like all those things. Like all of this is so huge. It's like the process of writing your goals down and everything. I know we're getting off on a little bit of a tangent.
No, but I think it's all relevant.
We will come back to the organizational chart, but the process of writing your goals down and putting it out into the world, what you're really trying to achieve, like I said, whether it be you're lucky or you're getting luckier or it's the universe, like, or it's just the fact that I said that thing and then it put it in my subconscious and my subconscious caught the little subtle things that were going to help me win today, you know? And it's just weird. Like, so you focus on all these things and you focus on putting this out into the universe and it's just like your reticular activating system or whatever. That's what it's called, right?
I don't know.
I'm getting closer to being able to say this in communication, but like the part of your brain that notices, like when you buy a Honda Civic, you never realize there were so many Honda Civics before. Okay. And it's real that you realize this happens in business. Like you start looking for opportunity and you believe that there's abundance. And all of a sudden, besides you thinking that there was nothing for anybody and there was never going to make any money, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's an opportunity. Oh, that's an opportunity. Oh shit, there's fucking whoa, I can't keep up. Like right now,
it's limitless.
Like literally right now, I'm thinking about like I've got an $8,400 estimate to finish. Someone just messaged in about like another $5,400. Like I'm thinking like there's too much opportunity to even keep up with. But your mind has to be right that that's a real thing. And then it's there. And
it's all yours. It is all there for you. And I think that this conversation, because this is all so relevant for, don't let us lose you in words that may feel unfamiliar or may feel like voodoo to you. Like listen to the message because this is worth, I would say thousands, if not millions. Except I totally just forgot what I was about to say. Work on, like, this is the time in the off season to be working on yourself. And I wanted to circle into think about how you have been referring to people to building your team. If you have said nobody wants to work, this whole message is relevant for you. Change the story, change everything. And that is so true. And I think that if you find yourself with extra downtime, then start looking into Tony Robbins or books or podcasts or content, because there's no shortage of that out there because so many people have experienced this and are putting it out there just like we are right now.
So we are landscape maintenance businesses, all right? And this mind thing, like, and this is gold because honestly, if you look at what we're doing and you look at being a part of GrowCom or any of that, or the things where we're helping people or you're interested in having a business like what we have, literally everything I've got has nothing to do with the fucking CRM or this or that. It's like, for one, awesome team, but have been able to have that because I've worked on myself a lot and worked on my own mind and worked on who I am through going to conferences and this and that. You don't want to be the biggest limiting bottleneck to your company because you don't have your shit right.
And you can't have your ego be too big to recognize that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'm not perfect. I'm working on myself every day. Every day, every year, I just work on myself harder. Like, I focus on myself on getting what I need to be right more than anything, like more than I ever have now.
Yeah, you put yourself first for sure.
And so what I wanted to say though, so your mind is like a garden. We're all maintenance companies, right? Your mind's like a garden, and weeds will fucking flourish if you don't constantly focus on what you're putting in. And that's why we get the opportunity to choose what we put into our minds. Like I was listening to Ed Milet and Tony Robbins in a podcast earlier, and then I was listening to some other quality information about something I was wanting to learn in a podcast. Like, you get to pick that. So if you could have weeds or you could have knowledge and growth, like we get the opportunity to pick whatever we want. So choose wisely.
That's so true. And then the last little thing I want to say about that is like, we haven't only seen this pay dividends in our company and our success and the way we've built our team and how incredible our team is. I mean, that's not by accident. It's in our relationship and our personal lives and all of those things. In every aspect and sector of our life, everything is so much better. So we are a living, breathing testament to everything that we just covered, which I won't go through again.
Yeah.
Let's end with a bang on organizational charts. Huge. I love that we keep talking about this because it's so huge.
And this is such an easy topic. Like if you're building a business, which if you're watching right now, I assume you're building a business, and that's why you want to know what you should be doing this season. And if your business is a business of 1, your business is a business of 10, your business is a business of 100, 1,000, whatever, an organizational chart is something that, like, when you hear that, it sounds so complex, like it's a big deal. And it's just it's above my pay grade right now because I'm just starting. But it's not. Like, this is such a basic thing. It is so easy to put together a little organizational chart. And this is something you should be doing right now, because it can even help you with your planning. Just all this is boxes on a whiteboard with lines connecting them of what is the flow of communication through your business. I'm looking at ours right now in Florida. So I'm at the top. This connects to, this is a line that goes from my box 2 other ways to marketing, which is you and Jess, and then it goes to Angelique. And then from Angelique, she's in direct connection with the crew 1 and crew 2. And then here is where I say the planning thing. I don't just preach shit. I'm in practice. Like, I'm pointing over at my dry erase board because it's right over here, and I have project 2, which is a 3rd crew, which is not, there's no truck, there's no nothing, but I know that crew is going to be in operation sometime this year. So it allows you to, 1, know how the communication flows through your business. All those crews report to Angelique. If she's got a problem bigger than she can't handle, she reports to me. And 2, it allows for the planning and the structure and everything in your business. Now, and what this does is I have this on my morning meeting board, so the team can see how this is supposed to, like, the flow of what this is supposed to be. And that doesn't mean no one can call me. That just means that this is how I'm designing this. This is how I want the office to work. This is where I want Angelique to be able to take on more and more and more, and me to be able to focus on the big problems that actually come to me, or the fires that I immediately have to put out. Not every little fucking question, And this is huge. I wish I need to be able to point this over here, but
no, I'm going to put a picture of it on your Instagram story after this.
So, I see that. So that's really all it is. And all you need to do is, if you're the owner, put you at the top. You're the top box. And then from there you work down. If there's one crew under me, okay, project 1 and the 2 names. And then as this grows, and it's also a future sales point of what we're trying to build here. Hey, my goal when I wake up every day, when I open my eyes, when I get to work, is I'm going to grow those boxes. I'm going to make more boxes on that board, so you all have opportunity to not just stay in your box, but to move up to a different box, a management box, a this, a that. Like, my job is to continue creating opportunity.
I love that. And that's so true. And to kind of circle back to the whole conversation is, like, this is the time to be thinking about it. Yeah. This is the time to be sitting down, and so many of us know what we want the end of this year to look like, but we need to walk backwards, do what you do, where you're creating a map and creating a plan, and you break it down so you know how to actually get there. Because if you're referencing earlier when I said maybe your goal this year is $500,000 and 3 trucks and 8 guys, that's easy to say. But how are you going to get there? Yep. Are you going to wake up in the middle of November and realize you're still the only one in a truck and you haven't been able to keep anybody this whole year? Like, no, don't do that. Don't let that be you. Take what we're saying and implement it. Follow the people who are creating things like what you want to create and doing those things and that align with you, and take those nuggets, because we're not recreating the wheel at all with anything. Nothing that we're doing or saying has
been done.
Exactly. So don't overcomplicate it when planning for your business and for your year, look and see what works for other people. Fucking do that.
Yeah.
And we're here telling you what works for us in hopes that that can truly help you.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to say too, do you have anything else to add?
Well, I was going to kind of go down these comments. I was also going to say one thing, another ask is if you're listening to us and both of our audios sound like they're coming through these mics and they sound good, maybe give us a thumbs up, or audio's the shit. We did a video the other day and Nicole's audio was perfect and you could tell mine was floating in from somewhere, but not through my microphone. So, give us a little feedback.
It knew what was important to listen to. Software knew.
The brains over there. And so what were you going to say?
I was going to say, there are people that, we've maintained the same kind of level of people watching this whole time. So maybe that's new people that have come in, or maybe you've listened to this from the beginning. If this has helped you, if any single word of it, go to the share button, go share it on your Facebook, go share it in a Facebook group and help someone else, or screenshot it and put it in your story and tag us on Instagram. Like, we want to connect with you. That's why we're asking questions in the chat while we're talking. Like, that's why we're asking you questions in general. That's why we're sitting down and doing this, because we want to connect with you. We want to help you. We want to learn about you. We want to know that the information that we're putting out does have value for you and your business, and that maybe we've said 20 things here and you pulled one really strong nugget from it and the rest just kind of feels irrelevant right now. I want to know what that nugget is. Like, please help us help and add value by kind of spreading the message. That's just such a great way to maximize value. And
I've spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on personal development coaching. Hundreds of thousands is what I've spent. And there's a lot of people that are like, how could you spend $10,000 on a ticket? How could you spend $30,000 on a ticket? Whatever. Here again, it's that realizing value thing. And like, we don't give things enough credit. What you just said, the getting a nugget. One nugget could make you 100,000, a million. Like, it could change your whole fucking life. It could totally. That's why I like the next person. The saying, the next person you meet could change your life. So yes, definitely share this, especially if there was a gold nugget that you got out of this, because the gold nuggets are what you should be looking for in life every day. That's why I'm listening and trying to learn, because I'm hoping I'll just catch that one thing. Oh, damn. That's what I was looking for, that one little idea. And I'd pay anything for that one little idea that changes my life. And that's life-wide. That's not just business-wide. That's not just entrepreneurial focus. That's that's what we get on. That's what we talk about a lot. Like, this isn't just a fucking about like sacrifice and bullshit and trying to whatever. Like, this is about everything. Like, this is about scaling your entire life. Why I do this is I put myself through a lot of stress, financial stress, all kinds of different things. I put myself out there to YouTube and to everybody. I try to be as transparent as possible, because I'm doing everything in my power to grow my entire life, my business, my time with my kids. My 3 little kids. Like, I only get one fucking life to spend and help those 3 become the best representation of what is a freaking amazing human being. And I've got like big thoughts on what that is. And they're 6, 4, and 2, and kids by 7 have learned most of what they're really like. Your biggest effect on them is. That's the turning point where so we've only got a little bit of time left. But I'm wanting to have, we don't get crazy with the money we spend we don't do luxury crazy shit yet in our life, because we're just not there. But we still are creating things and experiences, and we're doing things, it can't all be about sacrifice. It has to be. You'll get so burnt out. This is about finding the gold nugget so you can grow your company, so you can have more in every aspect of your life. And that's why you see us focusing on stuff like I'm healthier than I've been in a long time. I'm in better shape. I'm trying to show up better and so are you. So am I. Exactly. Yeah. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the best shape I'm probably almost in the best shape of my life. I remember back when I used to do, I know I could go and do 3 motos now in a day, easy. And when I was younger, there was times where that was hard. But can I also say, our relationship is in the best place ever. I think anyone who is running a business, has started a business, or been in a relationship knows that
shit gets hard, man. Like it is continued maintenance. If you want to talk about weeds in a garden, that's what a relationship can feel like. Yep. And when you're building a business, it's so easy to be like, holy shit, my business is doing well and I'm about to get divorced. That sucks. And no, it's not everybody, obviously, but it's hard. But I want to speak to everything that we're like talking about and say, like, we are truly, this is not by accident. This is not just a fluke and we just happen to be on camera while we're hitting this moment in life. No, like, we are in the best place as individuals, in our marriage, as a business owner and someone in the business, like as parents. It's huge.
And all of us, like, you know why we're doing this? Because we want to help other people. And once you've learned and you get better, like reinforcing habits through showing other people what you've done, like if you can teach something, you know it. And if we can talk about something,
you are an expert at something,
that continues to elevate us. That's why she's throwing shit now.
It's stupid. I threw it right at the camera.
All of you, like if you feel like you're an expert, and I don't know, I'm staring at the screen like that's where you're seeing me at. You're seeing me from over here. But all of you, if you feel like you're an expert in something, like start like, or you've learned a lot about something, start teaching that to. You teach that to your team members, and then you teach that to other people, or maybe help other people. And then that just elevates you and helps you grow, but also helps you help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we may have gotten off the original topic, but it has felt really good. So I want to thank everybody for listening, whether you're listening right now and taking time out of your Monday, is it Monday? Or if you're catching the replay, thank you for, like, truly from the bottom of our hearts and our souls. Like, this lights us up, and this is a big purpose for us right now, and I'm excited that we get to do it together and kind of take this on, and we hope that we're helping you. And again, if it has, please screenshot and share, or share it, tag us, like, let us see it. Like, we would love to see that you're putting it out there too. That would be awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Is it okay before we end if I go down the comments?
Oh, sure. I'm so
you
sorry.
Cool with that?
Sorry, I said bye, everybody.
Well, you didn't really say bye. You said
okay.
Whatever. I'm just going to go down this really quick. Hey, I just want to say I appreciate everybody. Really quick. Cool to see we've got people from Ohio, Louisiana, Madison, Wisconsin, Southwest Missouri,
cool. All
online with us today. Like, different climates for sure. You know, up north, heading a little bit down south. Riverbend Mowing, talking about he's currently using yard books. Yeah, like, you can expand, and I know you can pay more for yard books and get more of
Yard book.
That's
whatever. A pet peeve,
I always
bro.
say it wrong. Whatever, you know? But anyway, like, if that software is something that it fits your company, get all of the good out of that. If there's pieces you have to pay for to make it better, that's great. It's awesome that you're acquiring cards on file for all customers. I think that's huge. You know, I think that's, you say commercial customers are a little bit different. A fair amount of commercial customers will let you put a card on file. So just.
Yeah, don't assume. I think that'd be a big thing with commercial things. Don't assume that the way one person does theirs, like, they wouldn't be up for it. Because even if you had half your commercial people on card on file, that's great, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And even if it's a little portion, the more the merrier, right? You know, Sean currently switching from Jobber back to Service Autopilot. That's the switch and the talk I was talking about. Like, Jobber was our first one. Then we went to Service Autopilot because I knew we went from 0 to 100 really fast. And I knew that, like,
literally 0 to 100K really fast. So you mean?
Yeah.
Or 0 to 100, like.
0 to, like, because in our first actual full-time season, we were over 100. And Jobber just wasn't
doubled
going
that.
to, it felt like it was more for, like, a small company, like a couple crews or something. And I knew that, like, I needed something that could move stuff around, schedule really, really easy. So don't know about Jobber now, but that's why we did that. Service Autopilot has been gold for us. I will say I've looked at LMN. It's really good for a landscape company. I just don't know about the emailing. It seems very cumbersome on that. And then, I mean, we've looked at Aspire. We've looked at Service Titan. We've looked at, Yard books?
Yard book. One book. One book. One yard with one book.
Okay. So I've been pretty heavily involved in looking at all that stuff. Hyper focusing is a very real trait. Sean, you're 100% right. Being able to become obsessed with something, it doesn't mean you have to do it forever and get burnt out on, but just become obsessed with something long enough to get the general, like I said, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be able to get going. And by gaining any momentum at all, you will continue to gain more. The hardest thing is to get any momentum at all.
Well, and ideally then become a master in this one thing that then you can teach it to your employees. Like, that's where the big power is. It's not just becoming obsessed and then becoming this master of knowledge, but being able to kind of delegate that and share that knowledge, I think as you grow your team. That's huge.
And great, Joe, to hear the audio sounds great. I'm stoked that we got this because this setup's really nice and getting the audio in from it's awesome. Happy to hear you guys are happy for the info. Riverbend, actually yeah, perfect. Yeah, see, like
I love when you whisper comments. Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Whisper your comments. So you can hear me talk about it.
Your whisper reads.
Yeah, even if you can just get one of your commercial people on for it. You know, we were able to get some of our HOAs on for it, which surprised me. When you get down to the brass tacks of it all, like pretty much every business has some kind of credit card or debit card, like this whole check thing. That's just something they say. And we talk about this a million times. Here's a gold nugget. Like, you need to be talking about the advantages to them. Like, hey, we want to set you up for this because we see how it will save you time in accounting and tracking and someone having to actually physically write this check. Be selling everything and the advantages it is to the people that you're selling it to, because it really, even if it's helping you, it's helping them a ton.
Absolutely. That's huge.
And then Landscapes of America, hey, you're welcome. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We are wrapping it up.
Okay, cool. Let's do this again soon, man.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.